Hi, and good morning, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy morning to join me. I really do appreciate it. I went ahead last night, and while I'm in the middle of trying to re-upload some content here, I was able to, look into the library and pull out some hitters. You feel me? I mean, if there's one thing about having a back catalog of thousands of videos, it's that you can pick and choose, sort of, whatever you got going on in life, and, somewhat of like a content paradise there in my phone. Yeah, and so I wanted to talk today about routines and being really single, alright? So, routines are something that I think define our very self. I think if you don't have a routine, you're setting yourself up for failure. We've talked about this before, and I don't want to rehash, old stuff or whatever. At some point, I guess we have to talk about the same things, though, and I am very pleased with myself in that the quality of this content has always been subpar, so shooting for the ground has done me well, I'd say, for the purposes of this program. And so routines are something that I think the moment that you take away from somebody, they're like a different person. And I had been removed from my routine for a long time now, and it wasn't just because of this recent bad breakup. It was also because I had spent so much time out of town, and I don't think people that travel a lot know the kind of mental toll it takes on oneself. It's not fun. I've heard different people have different opinions on traveling and stuff, and I love to travel. I just have traveled so much that it's a Tuesday, you know what I mean? Like, happy Taco Tuesday. I mean, wherever I am in life is just sort of where I end up, and it's how it's always been, and how it relates to being single. We'll get into that into a second, but routines are something that are underrated. I don't want to take up too much time talking about the same thing, I suppose, but whatever it is in life that you got going on, focus on that and make it a part of like who you are, because your routine is a part of who you are. And I think that's a big part of like being in a relationship, is locking down that routine, and for some of us it's easier said than done. I know that I had just spent the last 2 months trying to figure out another person, and not only were they evasive, but also a girl, and impossible to figure out. So shout out, coming from this man here. But I'm just saying that being single is something now that I've been forced upon myself, and people are gonna ask, and I think this young lady has a lot of questions on her mind, and so I've been able to, I think, address those healthily, in this situation that I've been in over the last little while. But being, in a relationship is tough, and then being single is tough. I hate to break it to y'all, but life is tough, with or without somebody. It's a little bit cheaper without somebody, I'll tell you what, but everything in life costs something, and you got to be willing to shell something out to get something back in return, and that's just the way reciprocity, works. And I've always been the person to kind of extend, the olive branch as it would be first. It's just as time progresses and people, start to show their routines, you feel me? It's just a different kind of a thing. And I don't understand why people don't place such importance on the routine in and of itself, but I am a single guy now, and I keep saying that, and it keeps making me more sad, right? Because like for the past month or so, I had been working on my whole like, I'm not single anymore. I even had this face for it, right? I was just like, cool AF, right? Like, but things change, and so being single is an entirely different monster. It really is. And when I say being single, I mean being single. So I've made entire videos about this in particular. It's a lifestyle, just like being in a relationship is. Much more of a forced lifestyle for most men, in terms of just like it's just interesting. But I think that anytime you're in a relationship and you become single, there's different kinds of single, and I've never been the kind of single that's like, well, I've been all different kinds of single, I guess, but recently, in my most recent experiences with being single, I've been living that single life, you feel me? And I don't think people really understand what that means. It means like no friends, it means no girls, it means limited conversation, it means finding an outlet for your very, very intense self, right? I mean, it does mean all of those different things. I am recording outside today because I'm out in the real world trying my very best to stay as busy as I can. Being single, that's how I know how to do is stay busy, and I think that helps me, when these things happen and stuff. And I'm a huge advocate for the real single people out there. Again, not people that leave other people hanging on by a thread, or people that are like, about to hit their ex up or whatever, or whatever, like no talking to anybody. And that's a tough thing to do. There was an extended part of my life in my early 20s where I decided to take a hiatus, inspired by Dave Chappelle, sort of a thing back in the day. And I was just like, nah, I'm gonna chill, and I did. And I talked to no one, at all, except for my landlord at the time, and he was the only person that I talked to, and I did that for close to 6 months, I mean, literally, I didn't have a phone. I walked to the store and fed myself. I mean, I watched a lot of movies, but for almost 6 months, I did nothing, and that's tough. I don't care who you are, you feel me? Most of us need somebody to talk to in that same breath, and it's interesting because people like myself, make an entire career out of just making do with what they have around them, which is nothing, in terms of just like, this is the way, my life has gone, and I thought it was going to be different, and I'm still sure that maybe I'll have an opportunity one day to be in a good relationship, and I miss this girl a lot, and it's gonna take me a while to get over it, and so instead of like using my energy to be with another girl, or even on that hookup, like, I don't care what she does or whatever. I mean, obviously a big part of me does, you know what I mean, but I got to continue to tell myself that like it doesn't matter and stuff. And so being single, it's just as being committed as it is sometimes when you're arguing and you want to be like the meanest person or whatever, and win arguments and stupid stuff, you feel me? It's sort of just like being single is this is what it is, and it's so sad. There's a difference between being lonely and being alone, you feel me? And while I've had very few instances in my life where I've felt lonely, I mean, now for a big part of my adult life I've been alone, and it does definitely leave an impression on you, you feel me? And the last time I had decided to open up and trust somebody, it didn't work out well for me at all. I mean, do you guys remember the story of the woman's son's best friend that sort of like some fantasy LARP going on in Albert's life? Yeah, been there, done that. Not fun. Not fun. It's not at all like any of the satirical letters that you may or may not have read over the course of your life as they concern certain sensitive topics and stuff. And so, this most recent experience was eye-opening, right? In that for the life of me, I just couldn't get past, like wanting to trust her, but then her giving me every reason in the world plus more to not, and then making me feel some kind of a way about it, and it's just sort of like, in retrospect, I'm really just trying to, be single, I guess. I mean, just because the heart's pretty heavy from this last one, you feel me? And I'm just not really sure. I'm suited, I guess, for the partnered up life. I mean, I don't know what exactly it is. All I know is that your boy here is focusing on routines and, because of his own self, also his singledom. And so, yeah, hey guys, I really appreciate y'all, seriously, from day one, a long time ago, and I decided to make these videos and share my life with everybody. It was a decision that I made, without derision and just with the clean mind. And in that time, I've, made a lot of different content, and I've been able to share parts of my life that will forever be ingrained, in my own sort of journey here. And I'm 38 years old, getting closer to 39 every day, and really craving a different kind of life, as it concerns just, I didn't want to be alone, you feel me? And I'm just not, I guess, willing to compromise on my own values, and what I want. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay as a person to know what you want, and it's just sometimes people don't want to give it to you, and that's all right, you know what I mean? Like, all you can do is be clear and forward, with your intentions, and I was, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I ever was not perfectly clear with this girl and what I, was planning on doing, and my intentions. And I think I just am not sure that was the way to go about it, but I don't know any other way. And you run the risk of really being somebody you're not when you try to adapt too much, and it was just one of those things. And so here I am, constantly thinking about her, you feel me? And like, I'm not even sure if this girl, like, I know she really liked me and stuff, but I don't think she's tripping like this. And that's cool, right? Obviously, like, that's what I want. It's just, was I wrong? You know what I mean? You start asking yourself all these questions, and then, like, because of the way that it is, you feel even more stupid about how you acted. And it's a whole thing, and I've been very public and candid about all of my experiences in my life, including my sobriety, and that whole time in my life, which she didn't even know about. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that has happened, and I've always tried to be as honest as I can with my circumstances and stuff. And it's helpful that I make these videos. It's somewhat of a self-medicating kind of a thing, and I value that because I don't want to feel terrible, and I don't want to be depressed, and I don't want to be angry, and I don't want to be sad. And so I try to focus on different things, and so hopefully that works out. There's really no other way, and so being single and having routines are something that I need to hone in on so that I can get back to a solid ground. It's sucks, but what else are you gonna do? I literally, I'm a 38-year-old single man, you feel me, who had spent a lot of time recently trying to invest in making a relationship work that I'm not convinced, from the get-go that she wanted to make it work as much as I did. But, like, again, she had other things going on. I mean, like, if I was with somebody for that long and just got with somebody, so I was lucky to have the time that I did and stuff. It's just, I'm having a really tough time right now processing what's going on, but I'll continue to make these videos, and I'm sure hopefully sooner than later, my smile will come back to the way that it's always been, but I'm afraid that it won't because I miss her so much. I hope that you guys have a really good day, and we'll talk to you guys really soon. I'm very sure of it. All right, I think we're gonna see a lot of content from me, just because there's nothing else going on. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon, okay? Have a really good day. Bye.